Welcome to Our Jewish Roots.
When this fortress was built, the architects responsible for it didn't follow the plans associated with it, with the net result is they were killed, they were beheaded. This goes back to an Islamic day. These forts round about here are built atop the ruins of David's fortification. Actually, there's been a lot of up and down. In military culture, people know about following orders, but sometimes things get out of hand. I mention that because I'm interested in someone named Omri. It's a word meaning my darling, my loved one. But, as we'll see when I open up the book, he is not very lovely. Omri is a little-known personality. There's not much said about him. When you look in biblical literature, he's the progenitor of the horrible, that is to say, Israel's, the northern kingdom's most infamous king comes from him, Ahab, and people know the story of Ahab and Jezebel. Here I want to look and see how the apple of Ahab didn't fall far from the tree of Omri, my beloved, who wasn't very lovely. We see in 1 Kings chapter 16 that he came to power through mutiny. He seized an opportunity. I think there's something within the males of the species. Part of it's testosterone driven. We're competitive. We can be assertive. I get that. You add a sinful nature to that, what Hebrews call lashon hara, the evil inclination. And this drive for success can get out of hand in reasonably short order. The author of James in the Newer Testament says, what causes wars among you? It's passions that are at war in your members, and they propel people forward in not a very good way. Well, we're told here in the 16th chapter of 1 Kings that Omri seized a moment. There's something rather tasteless about talking about a guy's wife. I get that. But I'm not saying anything that the Bible doesn't say, and more, to tell you the truth. And the question here, to my way of thinking, is you have a leader. I don't care if it's a king, a president, whatever. The question is, who's advising that person? And what kind of worldview are they drawing from when tendering advice? That was important in antiquity. It's important in modernity. The Bible straight up seems to represent Ahab as something of a simpleton. His wife, however, was very, very spirited, and she was made of all of the wrong stuff, and it had a bad consequence. I'm looking in chapter 16 of 1 Kings. I'm reading it in my version. We're told in verse 31, Vayikach Isha, and he took a wife, Et Izabel, that is Jezebel, Bat Et Baal. Now, the daughter, as I mentioned just on the other side of this shrine here where I'm sitting, it doesn't look like a shrine, it just looks like a bunch of rocks, but they built altars to Baal all over Samaria. I don't mind sitting on one. You know, I don't like desecrating holy sites, but this isn't very holy to my way of thinking. Once upon a time, people thought it was because of this woman. I don't know why a Hebrew king is marrying someone with the name Baal. I've made the point, I don't want to beat it to death. But we're told that he married her, and before you get out of the verse that he follows her and worships Baal, it can happen. My wife personally has a lot of leverage over me. I just worship the ground she walks on. I've already said that. And who's in your inner world? It's important when we look in verse 33. I'll give it to you in mine and translate. Vayosef Achav la'asot lahakim et Adonai Elohei Yisrael. This Ahab did more to provoke the Lord God of Israel. Now that's not something you want to do.